And the next question is, what is Soundgoodizer? So Soundgoodizer is a really cool plugin that, to be honest, I don't use it too much in my productions, but I think I have to start messing around with it a little bit more. So let's go to FL Studio so that I can show you what is Soundgoodizer and where to find it. So let's go here. And Soundgoodizer, basically, it's under compression or dynamics, Soundgoodizer here. And if I go to the manual, actually I don't have it here. Let me open the menu. And this tells me that Soundgoodizer is a stereo maximizer enhancer plugin. So what this does is basically just does some stereo processing and does some enhancement of the processing. And this is based on the Maximus plugin. So it's a really cool plugin to use. And basically this gives us some distortion to the track. So let's bring another loop that we have here. Maybe not a loop from the mode audio. I can show you some of the new loops from the Beat magazine that I showed you today. This magazine that I bought here, this one that I bought online here today. And there's a couple of nice piano loops, maybe here, let's see. So let's use this one. I don't know if this will sound cool or not, but 120, stretch this out. Let me maybe lower the volume here because this is a little bit loud. And also we have the Soundgoodizer. So this is how it sounds without anything. And let's start adding some Soundgoodizer. Let's take it out. So what this does is, as you can hear, it makes it more, it applies something to the stereo signal. It kind of, I feel it applies some compression to the stereo side and brings it up a little bit, at least in this preset A. Of course, it also gives us some volume. So let's try to compensate for the volume so that we see what's really happening here. Let's go to gain, Panomatic, and let's have this enabled to the fullest, and let's bring the volume down so that we can match the input and output. So the input is around 15, and when we apply Soundgoodizer, it goes very loud. Maybe a little bit less. I think that sounds cool. Let's take out all. So what I would assume this does is it takes the stereo side and just gives it a little bit of compression and a little bit more volume. It makes the sound a little bit more stereo. Let's see now the other ones, the B and C and D. This one doesn't do such an aggressive as A. This A also makes it feel like it's doing like a top shelf, and it's making the stereo side more bright. The B1 doesn't do that much. But it increases the stereo component. This one is way louder. Let's see D. As you can see, this one is a little bit louder. It makes it sound a little bit louder. So I think this is a really cool plugin if you want to do some stereo enhancement to your tracks or to your samples. If you feel that the sample is a little bit mono and you want to bring up a little bit of the sides or the stereo width of the sample, you can use Soundgoodizer to make it sound a little bit more stereo and to help it in the stereo field, make it more interesting in that in the stereo. And excuse me, and you can use one of these. So I would assume this A kind of brings a little bit more of the high frequencies, so it kind of feels like it has a top shelf, maybe from 6K up, maybe a little bit higher. And then the other ones, I don't know, it's I don't know if they have focus on the higher frequencies, but yeah, I think Soundgoodizer is a cool plugin, and I have to start using it more. One plugin that comes to mind that kind of works the same way is one that I really like to use from Waves, which is Vitamin Stereo. It's not really the same, but it kind of reminds me of Vitamin Stereo. So if I take this out, one thing that I can do here in the Vitamin Stereo is I can bring up a little bit of the stereo side. And I can make some of these parts here a little bit louder, and I can put them more stereo. So I can make them mono. If I do all this, I will make the sound mono. And what I can do is leave the low frequencies mono and start increasing the high frequencies and make them a little bit more stereo. Oops. As you can see, this is a big difference. So I really like this plugin. It kind of reminds me, the Soundgoodizer kind of reminds me of that. But in a sense, this is a little bit, it gives us a little bit more control over everything, like in terms of how stereo we want the bands to be and how loud we want them to be. So I think this could be a somewhat comparison between Soundgoodizer or what Soundgoodizer is doing and this Vitamin plugin here. And I really like this plugin from Waves. And as you can see, this is kind of doing the same. So if you don't have this Vitamin Stereo, you can use Soundgoodizer to do in a way to kind of simulate that effect.